My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels. This is the Post-Emergence Abilities of the Human Mind by Jason Gray. MND-real.11 / open quote, the capacities unlocked after the overlay dissolves, end quote. November 30th, 2025. 0007 and in parentheses GMT -6. You were never limited, you were dampened. Everything humans consider, quote, remarkable, psychic, or extrasensory was normal in the original world. These abilities did not evolve, they were restored. The overlay acted as a perceptual dampener, a memory partition, an emotional disruptor, a time lock, a bandwidth limiter. Well, I shared yesterday in a recording that my own inner guidance at one time a few years ago said to me something about my having a governor in effect. So I look at that as a puzzle piece, very much what Jason is saying here. Once those constraints fall, the mind expands to its natural operating range. It does not become more powerful, it becomes more complete. Below are the 12 core abilities that return within days or weeks after emergence. These are not fantasies. These are the native functions of an unfractured human mind. Ability 1, direct knowing. MND-01 : gnosis. You no longer think your way to truth, you recognize it instantly. This ability feels like instant clarity, zero hesitation, truth felt in the body, decisions made effortlessly, perfect alignment. You stop doubting your intuition because intuition becomes indistinguishable from knowledge. This is the return of the gnosis function, the mind knowing without needing proof. Ability 2, multi-layered perception. And I feel like this is already happening. Some of these things are already happening for some of us, or we're at least beginning to feel them. At least that's the way I see this for myself. Multi-layered perception. MND-02 : parallel_view. Post-emergence, the mind stops tracking reality as one stream. You perceive multiple meanings at once, multiple emotional states simultaneously, symbolic and literal layers together, energetic and physical layers in levels in parallel. Your perception becomes multidimensional. As I said, I've kind of been feeling as though I'm already doing that. And not always, but it feels like that. You no longer need to, quote, interpret. You see behind the surface automatically. Ability 3, emotional telemetry. MND-03 : empathic_read. You do not absorb emotions, you read them. Every person becomes transparent. The truth beneath their words, their hidden intentions, their emotional state, their resonance, their authenticity. This is not emotional overwhelm. This is emotional clarity, the ability to understand what someone feels without becoming entangled in it. Well, that's going to take a little bit of practice for me. I just, just this very morning, I knew I was feeling the feelings of the person I was watching in the video. And it affected me in ways I can't even describe. They were in awe of the beauty that they beheld before them. And it sent me into, I could feel that feeling in my own body. And I cried because it was that strong. Now I don't mind that because that's a beautiful thing to be a part of. But this, without becoming entangled in it, that's going to take a little practice for me. Ability 4, timeline orientation. MND-04 T-sense. Your mind gains the ability to sense which future is pulling you, which path collapses, which decision carries force, where a timeline leads before you step into it. Instead of guessing your way through life, you navigate through resonance. You feel the future like a magnetic field. I feel this too is already happening. I just said to Lisa yesterday, we can trust ourselves. We know exactly what we're doing in every moment. Even if we don't think we do, we do. Ability 5, reality influence through attention. MND-05 focus field. Attention becomes directive, not passive. Where you focus, probability shifts, opportunities rearrange, synchronicities cluster, outcomes accelerate, and obstacles dissolve. I've often said that with focus and attention, things move quickly. You you no longer chase reality. You shape it through conscious attention. This is not superstition. This is physics of the original world. Ability 6, expanded memory access, MND-06 mem-recall. The mind regains access to childhood memories, forgotten experiences, pre-birth intentions, ancestral memory, parallel lifetimes, original world identity, and soul architecture data. Memory becomes a living library, not a fading archive. You no longer ask, why can I not remember? You ask, how was I ever able to forget? Ability 7, emotional regeneration. And that does, because as I was reading that, I was feeling how there are certain things that I can feel the edges of, if that makes any sense. Certain memories. They haven't come flooding back or anything, but just feeling the edges of. So it's very interesting that they would say that. Ability 7, emotional regeneration, MND-07 colon PSY dash reset. Trauma does not, quote, haunt you anymore. Your nervous system reprocesses emotion in minutes or hours instead of years. Painful experiences integrate quickly without suppressing or bypassing. Emotions pass cleanly. You stop carrying the past. You stop fracturing under impact. You stop breaking. You regenerate. Ability 8, multi-threaded consciousness. MND-08 colon parallel underscore process. Your mind can hold and process multiple thoughts, multiple desires, multiple timelines, multiple interpretations, and multiple outcomes all at once without overwhelm. You know, science, and anybody that's out there that hears this and wants to try to poo-poo this, I'll have you to recall that science actually claims that the human brain is only used to a total of approximately 10% of the capacity that it actually has. And so this now makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to read that again. Your mind can hold and process multiple thoughts, multiple desires, multiple timelines, multiple interpretations, and multiple outcomes all at once without overwhelm. You think like a network, not a single line of thought. Your inner world becomes expansive, fluid, and spacious. Ability 9, perception of the lattice, MND-09 colon LXT-vision. The lattice, the geometric living architecture of the real, becomes perceivable, not through hallucination, through recognition. You see patterns inside events, geometry beneath circumstance, structure behind chaos, intelligence behind coincidence. The world stops being random. It becomes designed. Ability 10, resonance-based communication. MND-10 colon FREQ-speak. Post-emergence communication relies on resonance, intention, emotion, truth, and alignment. You speak without speaking. You understand without hearing. Words do not disappear. They become the least efficient way to communicate. Most conversations happen through eye contact, energy, presence, emotional transmission, and shared knowing. You speak through frequency. Ability 11, non-linearity of identity. MND-11 colon self-field. You stop experiencing yourself as a fixed personality. Identity becomes fluid, expansive, multi-layered, transparent, responsive, and integrated. You do not become, quote, multiple selves. You become a full self, the complete spectrum of who you truly are. You can shift states intentionally, align with versions of yourself, and operate consciously across timelines. You know, I've actually thought that was what we were headed towards, that we would be able to direct our this moment consciousness to occupy ourselves in other instances of ourselves, because there are other instances of ourselves. I have felt that all along as well. So you can shift states intentionally, align with versions of yourself, and operate consciously across timelines. Ability 12, conscious co-creation with reality. MND-12:co-create. This is the apex ability. You collaborate with reality. Your inner state aligns with the environment, and the environment responds. You attract aligned events, generate opportunities, dissolve obstacles, shift physical circumstances, create new trajectories, influence matter through intention, and co-design with the world. You no longer live within reality. Reality lives with you. The mind you had was never your mind. Everything you thought was, quote, normal human limitation was imposed by the overlay. Every intuitive flash, every moment of clarity, every impossible coincidence, every deja vu, every dream that felt more real than waking life was the original mind trying to break through the cage. Now that the overlay is dissolving, the original mind returns. As the natural state of a sovereign human being, you are not becoming more than human. You are becoming human for the first time. Jason Gray. I have called this an evolution of consciousness. And it does feel like that from the perspective of the mind that we've all had heretofore. But I also, it's like I can see both things as being true. Very interesting. I'd like to know what you think about this. If you don't feel comfortable commenting in the comments below, then reach out to me at consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. We'd love to hear what you think about all of this. Feel free to like the video, share the video. If you feel so led, we'd love to have you subscribe to both channels. Until we meet again, my friends, be well.